Recording in progress. Oh, are we doing all from the beginning?
In the Pop Culture Cupid podcast, we talk about how pop culture influences our expectations in relationships. I'm Alison, love coach, here to help you single people find your way back to love.
Healthy communication. I'm Michelle. I help singles embrace themselves and their singleness, as well as develop a healthy self-relationship. We bring some juicy stories from our own love lives and dating, and it gets pretty interesting. Be focused, we're going to be to the point, and no digressing.
Self-awareness. Follow, share, subscribe, enjoy.
And like and comment.
If it's shockingly bad, we just re-record another one.
Yeah. No, I think there's some good stuff that you can just nitpick. Hi everyone, Michal from the future over here. I just wanted to pop in and let you know that this episode that you're about to listen to was recorded a while back. So we are chopping it up into shorter episodes to make it easier for you to listen to and follow along with us. So I hope you enjoy this episode, and make sure to like, follow, subscribe wherever you are, and also comment what bad dating advice you have received and whether you listened to it or what you did instead. Bye.
And thinking about it now, there's something that I always hear, and I've heard a lot of controversies surrounding this, and I'm curious to hear what you think, is that if he wanted to, he would. That's something that I see you rolling your eyes, but that's actually something that I do believe to a certain extent. I feel like a person, when they want, like there's a quote, I can't remember who it's by, but it's like, there's no such thing as I have no time. It's just I don't want to. And I feel like, look, we use this term too loosely. Like that's like our excuse for everything. Oh, if you wanted to, he would. And it's not that black. It's not black and white. It's not like, that easily. Oh, it's so easy to make time for me or whatever. And we shouldn't expect the person to just, throw everything away and immediately be 100% with us and immediately make time for us. But I feel like, and I'm not talking about extreme cases when a person has to move across the world for a job or has someone in their family who's sick and needs them right now or anything like that. I'm talking about while in dating, a person who's not showing up, who's not calling you, who's not texting you, then it's just not that interested in you, and you shouldn't be waiting around for them. Because I feel like when a person really wants to be in your life, they will find a way to be there. Like in Hebrew, we have a saying which I absolutely love, which is, we vote with our legs. A person who wants to be somewhere, who wants to do something, shows up. And I feel like, and I feel like I feel like saying that if he wanted to, he would is not true. It's like our way of trying to excuse their behavior. Is saying, yeah. Let's hear I'm very fascinated to hear what you have to say about this.
The reason why I was kind of rolling my eyes is because why do we care what he wants?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to, and if he wants, he would. I agree fundamentally. It's kind of, it's the nuance between play hard to get and be hard to get and things like that. I'm not excusing them, but let's admit that they do want to, and this is how they, this is how they show up.
Yeah.
Then, do you want that? Well, no. I want somebody who's more present or less present, or I want somebody who, does different things and things like that. So if he wanted to, he would. Well, yes, probably, because same goes for us. That if we wanted to do something, then we would do something. I mean, I will put a tiny asterisk on that of the whole fear of success and things like that. And let's just, yes, we agree it exists. It's not the topic right now. So who cares about if he wants to, he would. Are you happy with the way that he's showing up? Whether or not he wants to. Yes. Okay. Well then fine. Just keep going. If you're not, then that's that. Just stop. Come back onto how, who's number one? You are. I am. Whatever. How am I feeling? He's not showing up for my needs right now. Then let's just stop thinking about what he wants I don't want this, and that's fine. For example, I don't have a concrete example, but you have the perfect image of your partner in mind. Everybody kind of has this, this is blah blah blah, and and it never really happens. There's always these small different, these weaknesses and faults and things like that. If he wanted to change these things, he would. And so he's not changing these things. Do I feel okay with this? So, for example, I don't know, JT sometimes smokes. I hate smoke, and so he sometimes smokes with his friends. And when I found that out, I wasn't happy about it. And we could go into, well, if he wanted to quit, he would, and blah, blah, make you happy. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
I mean, really, I'm just a bit sad that he's, damaging his health, but he never does it when I'm around. He only does it with like every other Sunday with his friends, a little bit. I never smell it on him. So really, is that that much of a big deal?
Yeah.
And no, and it's not perfect. And I know it doesn't fit in the whole, if he wanted to see you, he would, but it kind of just, think about how it does make you feel. Forget about his health. Think about, does it really affect me? Really? Yes, no. Okay, I'm happy to live with it, or I'm just going to move on. So if he wanted to, he would. Yes, it's true, but who cares what he does?
Yeah. And it doesn't apply in every, sorry.
You think about what you want and then just see if that fits.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it doesn't apply for every situation and for every, like, because it's not 100%. Like, if he wanted to stop smoking, he would, and he may not even want to stop smoking. He may enjoy, smoking with his friends every once in a while, and that's okay. And I feel like, again, it's why it's so important to live our own life and to have like such a strong sense of self and have a full life of things, of all around things that we, at the end of the day, once we have such a fulfilling life, we don't care exactly what other people think, what other people want. We focus on what we want, and then we sort of attract ourselves people who want similar things, or people who align, or people who accept. And we're not as like desperate to get them to want, or we're not as desperate to impress them. We're not as desperate to try and get them to show up first, even when they don't want to. And we don't obsess as much on whether or not they want to show up for us or not. But at the end of the day, I feel like if someone's not showing up, if someone's not responding, if someone's not giving as much as they're getting, or if someone's making you do all the effort, then it's sort of like, take a step back and just live your life. And when you have a life to live, then it's not a big deal, and it's not so dramatic, and you're like, okay, you're lost.
Yeah.
So,
and it's making that okay. I have this, I'm gonna try and like do it in a different way. So my parents were thinking about, they had this holiday house by the beach, and they were thinking of either doing work on the house or buying a new house. And there was this whole kind of everything in my family, like everybody sits around the table and everybody decides and things like that. And even though it's their money and whatever. And so my dad called, I wasn't there when they were thinking about this. And so he called me up because he wanted me to be included. And I said, where do you see yourself for retirement? And he's like, what's that got to do with anything? And I said, well, this is your retirement plan. Where do you see yourself for retirement? Because they had this really great house opportunity that was like it fit all of the criteria anyway. And I said, if you think about, where you want to be like in 5 or 6 years for my dad, then like clearly what's the vision? Then your decision now is just going to fall into place, and you're not going to be afraid to make a mistake of either buying the house or doing the work, because even if it doesn't work out, you made that decision, because that's how you felt in the moment. And so they thought about it, and they realized that they weren't going to buy this house that they were terrified of missing out on, and were about to, spend this amount of money or things like that. They didn't buy the house.
Yeah.
And I think it's sold now. And so they are, and that's they didn't miss out on it, because they realized that that's not what they needed. And they were, and so maybe in 5 years they'll be like, oh, we should have bought the house, but they're never going to regret it, because it's just gonna, because they would have thought, no, that didn't fit our plans, and so we did it. Same goes for love lives or relationships. Where do you like,
Mm-hmm.
what do you need from people? What do you need for yourself? Where do you see yourself in 1 year? Married, with kids, living across the world, things like that. And does this person fit that? Yes. Well, then you probably aren't having any trouble. But if they don't fit that,
Yeah.
then let them go. You're not missing out. Yes, you're going to be alone a little bit longer, but if they're not fitting that mold, then just, let them go. It doesn't make them a bad
Yeah.
person. It doesn't make you a bad person. It's just not the right, fit. That's that. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
And I feel like of course, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And I feel like if you have to force something, or if you have to work so hard to get something to work, then it's just not right. It should flow and it should be natural. And yes, it takes effort. And yes, it never comes 100% easy, but it also shouldn't be a constant uphill battle.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't also have to be putting in so much work just to get them to want to be with you or to want to make time for you. They should want to do that. And if they don't, then that's totally okay. We just have to learn how to walk away. And again, that's why it's so important to have such a strong sense of self and have such a strong relationship with yourself and be confident, because that helps you just walk away much easily, and to
Yeah.
not be desperate for someone, and to not like constantly chase people, because you know your worth, you know who you are, you're strong on your own, and you're not afraid to lose anyone, and you're not like willing to put up with anything just for the sake of having them in your life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Wow.
well, should we do one more? Should we
Well, I mean, do you
we
have one
already
more?
I do.
Go
I
for it.
do. And it's a bit of a juicy one, which I love to talk about, but